When I said that the scamdemic was there were no viruses out there, and a lot of other people in this community who were exposing all the lies said that there's no such thing as virus. This is bullshit. This is just tyranny. Arrows on the floor in stores. Seriously? If viruses were real, you wouldn't have to worry. It's all in the air like chemtrails. Virus arrows and how you walk, which direction you walk, would not dictate whether or not you caught a virus or not. But the sheeple was so damn stupid. They followed the New World Order directions, just like the sheeple that they are. And I said, I made many videos, and a lot of others did too, that it was just a dry run. It was a test to see who was going to go along with the New World Order and who won't. And here we are. Digital ID. This is the Reese report. All right, I'm going to show it to you. We're going to watch it together. Whether you like the visual or not, whether it's not up to your liking or not, doesn't really matter. The information's there. So let's take a listen.
The digital ID provides government the ability to track, analyze, predict, and control a person's private activities. It is the antithesis of individual freedom and will not require an implantable chip, as many have feared for decades. Evidence clearly shows that biometrics, such as fingerprints and facial scans, will do the job much more efficiently. And the aftermath of the COVID lockdown shows us how it will be deployed. During the
Show me your
COVID
papers.
era, government said that masks were recommended, while private companies said no mask, no entry. And the public overwhelmingly complied, but not with an overreaching government. They complied with the grocery store to buy food, the airlines to travel, and their own banks to...
Yeah, because the government said, I'm sure they made a deal with the corporations. They said, listen, if you guys enforce the mask mandates and the arrows and how to comply with tyranny, the sheeple will comply. But if the government, which already has people don't trust the government, right? But they'll trust, Kroger, they'll trust Walmart. I guess the sheeple will, Target, and all these other places. And so most of them will comply. The corporation said, put on your muzzle, sheep will do it. The corporation said, walk this way with arrows on the floor, sheep will do it. But if the government said it, then people will have, oh, no, we can't do this. Nazi Germany, this is communism, this is China. No, they wouldn't do it, right? See how they played it? And you all got played. You sheeple out there, still wearing your muzzles? Look at this idiot breathing in the toxins. Breathing in the fibers, breathing his own shit. You morons.
To access money. Looking back, it is quite clear.
Suffocate yourself.
Lockdowns provided an opportunity to beta test digital ID compliance through private company mandates and helps normalize the use of QR scans and facial pics for entry into private businesses.
Again. Remember, show me your papers in libtarded areas like New York City, probably Los Angeles, San Francisco. If you wanted to go to a concert or see a play or whatever, you better put on your damn muzzle, act like a New World Order sheeple that you are, right? You COVIDiots. And yeah, this was all a test. Remember, you had to get your quaxines, show proof that you had to get your quaxines to go to a concert or any kind of venue. You enter any kind of venue. Remember back then? Remember that? Whatever happened to HIPAA? Whatever happened to medical privacy? Oh, that was thrown out the window. These corporations said, I want to know if you took the mRNA clot shots. And you sheeple said, yes, I did, Mazza. Can I get in the concert, Mazza? Fucking morons. It's unbelievable where we're at. It really is. Facial recognition, all this was just a test. They were testing out their New World Order equipment, and they want another fucking round. You still wearing your muzzle out there? Huh? It's unbelievable. Look at this. I don't know if I have time to get through with all this.
and it proved to be a success. Now we are seeing the same techniques being used with the rollout of the digital ID. The gold standard for biometric regulation was written in 2008 as the Illinois Biometric Information Privacy Act and is being replicated all over the United States. It mandates that private entities obtain written consent before collecting biometrics, disclose their policies, and destroy data after a set period. And most importantly, it exempts government entities entirely, allowing state and federal government to collect and utilize biometric data while passing the liability to private corporations. These laws have been met with over 1,000 class action lawsuits since 2015, which resulted in the standardization of consent prompts in apps and services.
There are no viruses.
Such as Affirm's biometric consent, which now states by clicking accept or proceeding, you consent to collection of biometric data. Click a button and you're in the new system. If government were to mandate the digital ID, it would predictably ignite mass protest. We can see this happening today in the UK. The United States will avoid this by utilizing the private sector in what appears to be voluntary action. The FBI's Clearview AI has harvested over 30 billion faces from...
See, listen, if the government was to enforce this, Americans, people would, there'd be uproar, there'd be uprising. But if they get the trusted places like, oh, I don't know, just any place you deal with, Hyundai, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, Walmart, Target, Kroger, Publix, yada, yada, yada. Everyone, when I say that, I really mean a bulk of the population, the sheeple, which comprises sheeple, will comply. And that's what the government wants. Because the government can't pull this off. No, sir, no, ma'am. But they can get the corporation, the trusted places that people have been dealing with and shopping with for years. Capital One, whatever it is your bank, whatever it is. Just like in 2020. Remember, you went to the bank. And they said you had to muzzle up. Wait a minute, before the 2020 scamdemic, if you went and wore a mask, they would press the button on the floor to call the police because you look like a criminal, but not in 2020, not during the scamdemic. They said you better look like a criminal in order to enter the bank, and very few questioned it. I questioned it, all that crap. So did my mom. But very few people, because most people are sheeple. It's ridiculous where we're at. It's just totally ridiculous.
The FBI's Clearview AI has harvested over 30 billion faces from social media. And because Clearview is technically a private company, the FBI has access to all this without the need for asking. In over 43 states, the Department of Motor Vehicles have sold driver's license photos to private firms who resold to local police for facial recognition.
Notice all the AI data centers going up around us.
Which would most likely be considered a violation of American rights. And so it outsources the mandate to private companies who are legally required to get consent, while the government is free to collect and utilize this data under legal immunity. Just like the COVID era, you will be free to give consent, but if you choose not to, you will have to leave the reservation and find a way to fend for yourself.
Remember that?
Greg Reese reporting.
Remember back then also, you couldn't go to the beach? You couldn't go to a national park? This is the Agenda 2030. Certain places they'll allow you to go, certain places they won't. All right? By 2030, that's their goal. And 2020 was just a dry run. There was no viruses. If anybody got sick, legitimately, it was over there in Wuhan and places where they were putting up 5G cell towers and people were getting radiation poisoning, which mimics the flu. And other places, which was most places that they didn't have the 5G towers in at the time, all they had to say is, well, let's take this up your nose with a rubber hose PCR test. Boop! Oh, Mr. Smith, you have COVID, which they called coronavirus at the time, which is a cold. which is your body purging toxins. But then they renamed it COVID, which stands for Certificate of Vax ID. They speak to each other in their language while they passed their language off to us as viruses. There was no virus. COVID stands for Certificate of Vax ID. It stands for you can't go from point A to point B unless you show them your papers. Nothing but tyranny. Nothing but the New World Order. And that's what they want. Again, they tried it with the bird flu. Well, they killed a lot of our chiggies and got eggs up to $7 or $8 a dozen in certain places. But there was enough pushback and exposing of their agenda to the point they had to stop that nonsense. Now they're killing ostriches in the name of the fucking bird flu to make it look like the bird flu is real, but we're exposing that too. Their agenda is a hoax. I mean, their agenda is real. What they say is out there is a hoax. There are no viruses out there. The good doctors come out and already, this is old hat. How many of you out there still are falling for this shit? I mean, it's getting to the point where I don't want to see a mask on you at all. It's ridiculous. You say you're sick, and you're trying to protect your immune system. Well, how are you protecting the immune system? By breathing in the fibers, breathing the GMO fibers, breathing in the dyes, breathing in your carbon dioxide. It makes no sense suffocating yourself, but you're preventing yourself from catching a phantom virus or protecting your immune system. We live in a clown world, upside down world, and it's time everyone wakes up. This is ridiculous. And then you got digital ID, which is pretty much I think the icing on the cake. You won't be, listen, for some strange reason, over the past month and a half or so, I can't get on my tablet or my cell phones. Mostly my cell phones, but my tablet too acts up with YouTube and my photo gallery. My cloud, YouTube and my cloud, I'm constantly having to log in, sign in every fucking day, if not twice or 3 times a day, on my cell phones and I said cell phones because I have 2 crappy cell phones that I'm using. And on my tablet. I have to constantly log in, sign in on YouTube, sign in, verify yourself on your cloud, your photo gallery. Verify who you are on YouTube. All right, it hasn't spilled over onto my laptop yet. It hasn't spilled over onto the computer here, but it's a thing. It's conditioning. I believe conditioning me and it wants to condition us into signing into these things when we shouldn't. You sign in once. You didn't sign out for the longest time. You're still signed in as long as you don't sign out. Now all of a sudden you got to sign in. They want to get us accustomed to signing into things, and they want us to incrementally mission creep us into the digital ID, where we have to sign in this, prove who we are for that, prove who we are to get in the store, prove who we are. You know who I am. You know who everybody is, B-System. So knock it the fuck off, all right? It's bullshit. It's all about tyranny. It's all about the New World Order. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the bullshit. That's what I got for you. COVID lockdown model for digital ID deployment 5 years ago. And I've been shouting this from the rooftop and getting shadow banned, losing digital friends, subscribers on BitchOot and other places. Rumble even locked me out. Odyssey is it's ridiculous. YouTube took down my channels. It's unbelievable. But still, here we are. COVID lockdown was a test. All that COVID shit was a New World Order role model, a model to usher in the New World Order. China led the way. China is the New World Order model to usher in the New World Order. Whatever China's doing, this is what they want everyone else doing. Do you get it? All right? Maybe you don't. Maybe you'll still put on your muzzle. This is the world we're in. The clown world. I am Oot.